Hi, welcome to another video of the Target Individual Program, the Target Individual Experience. So it is the afternoon and just came back from downtown Brooklyn. I had to go to the Department of Education to find out how I can get a copy of my high school diploma um, since I can't find it. Okay, and since it was at my mother's house, and like I said, I spoke to her a couple weeks ago about getting it for me, and she said she couldn't find it. She ended up getting my junior high school diploma, which wasn't what I needed. And the funny thing is that, you know, when I realized, I think it was yesterday or yeah, it was yesterday, that something was up, because I've been calling the Department of Education. There are three locations, and I've called all of them. One, I couldn't get to because it was taking too long. Like a half an hour wait, a 45-minute wait. And the other two that I called, I spoke to two people. The second person gave me a number which is supposed to be the Department of Records in the Department of Education. That number turned out to be the number for special education. Okay, and I called back again the next day, and she remembered me, and she was like, I told her, I said, the number you gave me was for special education. And she was like, well, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you work for the Department of Education. You should know these things. You should have it in your system. But because they didn't want to give me any assistance, so they just gave me any number, and then that was it, right? So, after going online, doing all these multiple searches and so forth, um, I didn't turn up anything. So I decided to take the kids with me today to go down to the Department of Education. When I went down, I spoke to the security guard in the lobby, told him, you know, what I was looking to do, and he gave me the number right there, the Department of Records. Now he did not even look in the computer or anything like that. He just wrote the number down off of memory, right? Which is kind of strange. But it's not really, because again, um, he's just the security officer. So, for him to have that information on the top of his head, you know what I'm saying? It just kind of seems odd and strange. And so, um, you know, left there and, took the kids. We had lunch, and, some stuff happened, which I'm going to talk about, right? You don't know already. I'm a TI, so, stuff going to happen. But I got some videos, to show, and some photos, and some physical evidence to show. So when I talk about being implanted with a microchip for the purpose of remote neural monitoring, many people don't know what that might be about. Okay? And so on this website is an explanation of remote neural monitoring. This website is called learningmind.com. How many times did you have thoughts that you never wanted to share with anyone, and have been constantly worried at the thought of someone ever finding out about these thoughts? All of us have been through this process, and the new and improved technologies being developed around the world, supposedly to deal with crime and terrorism, and inadvertently intrude on one's privacy, should probably bring us all to the brink of paranoia. These technologies are funded by government at the highest level, and some of the countries involved include USA, UK, Spain, Germany, and France. Recently, the infamous National Security Agency, NSA, of the USA has developed a very efficient method of controlling the human brain. And like I said, I experience all the time. My kids, I talk in my previous videos about how, these women, they will walk towards me and they will do four fingers like that. So after we came out from downtown, came to the apartment door, my son Ethan, uh, did this. Let me go back there. So we're at the door, okay, the apartment door, and he takes four of his fingers and put it against the door, right? All right. So we're back at Pam's apartment now. He takes four fingers and put it rested on the door, his hands on the door with just four fingers, right? Not five. He didn't open it like this. Tuck his thumb in and had four fingers and pressed it against the door. Okay. So again, controlling the minds of my children, to send me subliminal messages. And I think my kids have been microchipped. And recently, you heard about uh, the school. I think it was in Italy that were brainwashing children, right? To say that their parents abuse them, so they can, uh, sell the kids through the foster system in Italy. It happened, and it is happening. Okay, it happens here in the United States also. So don't think it doesn't. The United States is excluded. Okay, the United States is probably the biggest uh, perpetrators of brainwashing and psychological conditioning in any nation in the entire world. Okay, so this technology is called remote neural monitoring, RNN, and is expected to revolutionize crime detection and investigation. But again, this is not about crime and investigation. This is about controlling people. This is about stealing intellectual property. This is about, silencing someone. This is about controlling people in ways uh, that are undetected, okay, to turn them against other people, okay? RNM works remotely. Ever wonder why we have all been driven relentlessly towards wireless system? To control the brain on the objective to detect any criminal thought taking place inside the mind of a possible culprit. The inevitable question: how can you isolate a criminal thought if you do not have a comparative measure of non-criminal thoughts? Well, what they do, they create criminal thoughts. That's what they do. This understanding, this undertaking is based on two principles. One, the research studies have shown that one humanoid intellect think at the speed of about 5 kilobytes per second and therefore does not have the capacity to contest with supercomputers acting via satellites, implants, and biotelemetry. Two, the human brain has a characteristic set of bioelectric resonance structures. By using supercomputers, the RNM system can home in on it and send messages through the embedded individual nervous system in order to affect their performance in a preferred way. The entire system has been developed after about 50 years of neuroelectromagnetic human experimentation, claimed to be involuntary, but there is no evidence to support this claim. I think it's claimed to be voluntary. That's what he meant there. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the whole thing on this. You guys can read this yourself. But I've talked about how my thoughts are read and how early on in my targeting, whenever I would go out and I would spend money and whatever change I get back in my wallet, like let's say if I go to the movies, I have $20 on me, I spend $14 at the movie. I come out the movie theater, which means I get $6 change. Come out the movie theater, there's somebody walking by with a shirt that has six on it, right? I'll go into a store, okay, and I'll spend a certain amount of money, and again, whatever change I get back, there's somebody outside the store with either a shirt or a piece of paper with the exact change that I got back, right? Then on top of that, um, if I'm when I used to read stuff on Malcolm X, every time I open up uh, a web page on Malcolm X, I'll start hearing police sirens. Same thing when I'm thinking about Malcolm X and certain speeches that he gave, I'll hear police sirens. Right? Same thing. I went into my My cousin, both my cousins, one is a pediatrician, the other one is a doctor. He's a podiatrist. That's his specialty. And in their office, there's a picture of Martin Luther King. And I remember taking my son there, and I looked up at the picture of Martin Luther King, and then I just heard whoop 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 whoop. Again, the police sirens, right? So again, they were monitoring my thoughts, right? So today, you know, started happening again. They started doing it again, and the only difference now is that being that you know your phone technology is much more advanced than back then. This happened in 2002, 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the technology of the phone was not that great, especially the cameras and stuff like that, right? So let's go to the first video. Um, so my kids was thirsty. We just got off the bus, and my daughter left her pocketbook on the bus, so we had to walk all the way to where the bus was at. Finally found the right bus. Got her pocketbook. Started walking back, and my son was like, "Daddy, I'm thirsty. I want something to drink really bad." So we went to one of the those trucks, right? The food trucks. Got them two water. I had $21 in my wallet, and it was $2 for the water. So I got back $18 and change, and then the $1 that I had in my wallet, made it $19, right? So anyway, we walk to the Department of Education. We have to cross the street to get over to the other side of the street. When we reach at the intersection of the other corner, this Hispanic woman, okay, came and she stood up right at the corner. And like I showed you guys in the video previously, how they tried to do an anchor and a trigger with Hispanic woman, right? I talked about that. So you see another Hispanic woman again, they're going to use to try to deter me from going into the Department of Education. Because every time you try to pursue something, they will try to, try to use people to try to either threaten you to say, well, we're going to use these people against you. We're going to open up some sort of investigation. They're going to claim that you did something to them or what have you, right? So this is what they're doing. And now basically they're doing it with Hispanic women now. They do it with black women, do it with Hasidic Jewish women also, right? So we cross the street. She stands up there looking at me, and I take up my phone and start recording, and then she turns because she didn't want to show her face. Okay, but see, once you have them on camera, no matter what they do, they're gonna have to turn around. So even if they turn away from you as you take out your phone, just put the camera on them. They're gonna turn back around. All right. So there she goes. Right. So I kept the phone recording. Okay. Just because I know they're going to be perps walking towards me, doing hand signals and stuff like that, probably folding their lips, and which you'll see here as this woman walking here. She's doing this again. Okay. As she's walking towards me. See her? And then you'll see another woman here, right? Now she's smiling because she thinks it's funny. Okay. And I think I don't know what she has in her hand. It looked like keys or something like that. But anyway, so we go into the Department of Education, went to the desk with the security officer at, explained to him what it is that I was trying to do, and he gave me the number for the records department, right off the top of his head. Okay. Now, I don't know how long he's been working there, and he could, people may have came up there and asked him many times, but to me, I just find it kind of strange that right off the top of his head, he just gave it to me. When I've been calling the Department of Education, I've been speaking to people, and they've all been giving me the wrong number. Okay, so maybe they wanted me to go down there. Maybe they wanted to see if I'll follow through, because of the fact that they've been trying to deter me. Okay. So anyway, so that was that Hispanic woman, young lady. Now we got out of the Department of Education and we go into Popeyes. When we reach in front of Popeyes, this woman here again, another Hispanic woman, she ran in front of me to get in front of me. Okay. And then while we were waiting in line, she kept turning back, looking at my daughter. Okay, so that was when I started, and you see she has a cross tattooed behind her neck right here. So again, to tell you, a lot of people who participate in these type of programs are religious members, right? They are all part of a super cult. Okay, different religion, different ethnicity, all controlled by law enforcement officials who are members of religious organizations. Okay, because she kept looking back, and so I started recording her butt because, like I said, when we got to the Popeyes, she rushed in front of me. I mean, I'm using a cane, and she just rushed in front of me just to get in front of me. Because again, the timing was off. That's why she had to do all of that, right? But anyway, you guys saw her face. Okay, let's go to the next video now. So we're still in McDonald's, and I had to use the kiosk to place my order, right? So I placed my order on the kiosk, which is like a big, huge touch tablet. And then he gave me a ticket. And guess what the ticket has on it? 19th. And guess what today's date is? The date, today's Friday, the 19th, right? So you would think, I'm thinking like, okay, I had $19 in my wallet. This seems very similar. And that was when that triggered the memories again, right? About when I was first being targeted. This is what they used to do. So every time I go purchase something, whatever change I get back, somebody would be, um, walking by with a shirt with the number on it. Okay, didn't matter if it was 65 cents I got back. I step out the store, somebody's with a shirt with the number 65 on it. Okay, so see number 19, right? So at this point, I'm like, okay, right, I need to take a picture of this just in case they take the ticket and they want to give it back to me. I gotta, record this, right? At least take a picture just to have proof, right? So went online, ordered my food. Okay, which one is this? Okay, let's go back there. All right, so went online, ordered my food. I got my receipt. Okay, now I didn't take a picture of it because that sure as hell wasn't going to give them back the receipt. Look at the number on the receipt. 319. Right? Now you guys may be like, okay, coincidence. No. The receipt I got from the kiosk, if it was only that, I would have been like, okay. But look, 319 on my ticket after I paid for my food at the register. Okay? Tell you, this is the stuff that used to happen to me all the time, and I guess they're doing it again. So what's going on here is remote neural monitoring. They know how much money I had in my wallet, and then manipulating the system inside of the McDonald's, manipulating the kiosk, and manipulating the cash register. Okay, so this is what they do. This is nothing supernatural, spiritual, or nothing like that. This is technology. This is them people behind the scenes, highly trained people in the IT profession, hackers, what have you, working for the government or working for the the state and local police department, the FBI. They have access to all these systems. Okay, so I'm sitting down And then this van pulls up, and what looks to be like a police officer got out of the van, right? But it was actually a court officer. So also while we were sitting down, there was a ticket agent that was sitting down next to me that was targeting me, because again, sometimes they'll send me subliminal message about using the ticket agents to, to give me tickets. Just like I did a video where I pull up in front of Pam's building to let Ethan out. This ticket agent came across the street, wrote me a ticket for double parking, and I was in the car. I was just pulled up to let him out, which I have every right to do. So I fought the ticket. I sent them pictures, evidence, and they still found me guilty. Right? So there you go. So now they go back to using the ticket agent, talking about, I'll send me subliminal messages about giving me tickets. And so that's another way of them, uh, taking money out of your pockets, right? Money that you really can't afford to spend on a ticket. So they're just gonna start writing me tickets from now on, I guess, for whatever. Okay, but anyway, it's still not gonna shut me up. So then this woman, after the van pulls up, this woman, she comes, she stands up there. Okay, starts looking in my direction. She covers her mouth, and then she sees I'm recording, and she walks off. Okay, so now he reverses the van. Okay, now when I stopped recording, the woman in the orange dress came back, and she came right up to the window. Okay, and she did this to me, and she gave me the finger. Okay, and I took my phone to record her, and she just ran away. All right, this is the stuff that these people do. I mean, it's ridiculous, but this is what I go through on a daily basis. So now I didn't use the cash on me to buy the food at McDonald's, right? Because I wanted to prove to you guys that I did indeed have $19 in my wallet. So I went in the bathroom. Now, as I was going to the bathroom, my son and daughter were using the bathroom, right? And you had um, these two couples, older couple, right? She went and got the cashier to open the door. She sees my daughter and my son in the bathroom, and she's holding the door open. So I went over there and I said to her, I said, ma'am, why are you holding the door open? You see there are kids in there, right? Why are you holding the door open? Okay? Then she wanted to talk to me, but she was talking some other language, what have you. You know, and I just said, excuse me. And so I told my son to go watch our food, and then I went in the bathroom because my daughter was on the toilet. She was taking a poop. And this woman, and the thing is that the cashier, she just let my kids in the bathroom because what happened, the person that was using the bathroom before them locked the bathroom door, right? I'm gonna tell you why they locked the bathroom door. Because while I was there, I was saying to myself, you know what? I need to go use the bathroom to take a picture of the money in my wallet just to show that that I had $19. because I was going to use some of the money to buy our fare back home, right? Or back by Pam's apartment, right? So I'm saying that in my mind, and then 2 minutes later, because again the remote no monitoring, they had this woman come downstairs. She's looking at me in a very, um, you know, what's the word I'm looking for here? Um, in a very sadistic way, right? In a very sadistic way, right? And she's just staring at me as she's walk out. Then these three teenagers walks in. One of them had a shirt that says "Follow me to college," because you see they send me subliminal message. So when I do enroll in college, all this stuff is going to follow me to college, the target and stuff like that. But I already knew that. But again, because of the psychopathic, the narcissistic nature of the program, because the people who created the program created based on the personalities of narcissistic people, serial killers and sociopaths and stuff like that, right? So that was that. So I was in the bathroom with my daughter. I took the money out my wallet, and as you can see, it's $5, it's $10, and I have 4 ones, right? $19. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, right? Remote neural monitoring, knowing how much money I have in my wallet. Now, how could they know how much money I have in my wallet? I didn't tell anybody. Okay, so this is the stuff that they do. And in the beginning, when they did that to me, it scared the shit out of me to the point where I end up having a nervous breakdown. Okay, so I'm just, like I said, I'm glad they're doing it again, because now, with my mindset and my frame of mind of exposing these things, you know, I'm showing you guys exactly, what's going on, right? And so we got on the bus, and this woman got on one of the stops. She was walking aside, targeting me. She came and she sat right across from me. So I started recording her. So you see now she's going to do the palm fixation drill as she's looking at me. Okay, she's going to get up. All right, now watch the thumb. All right, watch how she sticks the thumb out as she gets up. Right? Again, this is something I've seen before. So they're pulling out all the stops. Okay, and then this guy sitting across from me, you see him here. He has his hands up to his face like this. See his reflection right here in the glass. Okay, when she moves, he's going to begin. Okay, so I was playing with his hair, 4 fingers, sticks his hands in his ears. Now again, this is a masking technique because he has a wireless earbud in his ears. There's no need for him to hold his hands to his ear like that for so long. But again, this is a masking technique because he wasn't doing that until the woman started. The woman that came and sit in front of me, and then he went off. So they were feeding off of each other. They were working in tandem with one another. Okay, and so he's there. He's still doing all these hand signals and stuff like that. So I'm going to put the phone recording back to him. And you see how he does this? Because he got caught. So you can't. You try to be slick to play it off, but he already got caught. Okay. And then what they'll do, they'll have people stationed walking or standing along the bus route, doing hand signals like sticking their finger in their ears, playing with their hair, especially females, or walking into the street when the bus is passing by, doing this. that sort of thing. This is what they do. Okay, this is what they do. This is the nature of these individuals. Okay, bunch of narcissistic psychopaths, bunch of criminals. Okay, so again, what we have here is invasion of privacy, conspiracy against my rights. Okay, uh, violation of my human rights. Okay, of my sovereignty. This is all criminal activity being done against me and others like me. Okay, and I want people to understand that. And also, are they using these technologies on me, but also my children and the people around me? Okay, so that's it for the video. I'll see you guys on the next one.